Hey there, it's Sharon, and thanks for joining me in my studio today. I have a bunch of pieces left over from the most recent Tim Holtz and Simon Says Stamp Christmas in July class. So when you have all these different ephemera bits, definitely you can save them. But I have so many other ones from seasons past. So instead of mixing these all together, I thought I would just take the ones that I have left over from the class today and go ahead and make a collage master sheet. So similar to some of the tags that we made in the class, you'll see all these different ephemera bits that were put together to make these backgrounds. I'm going to go ahead and make one big sheet so I have it for use in future projects. So I can cut tags out of it, I can cut mini tags, I can cut even die cut pieces or just use them for card backgrounds. So I'll move these out of the way. And this is a really easy process. I know if you took the class, you would have received some distress collage medium that looks like this. But if you have a big jar, this is a great time to use that. And I've done this before with different kinds of cards and backgrounds, and I'll link the cards that I made last year down in the description below if you want to take a look at that. But my process for working with different collage things is to have this big jar of collage medium. I have this brush that I like. It's the Simply Simmons brush. It's for acrylic paint, but it's pretty flexible. And this is the kind of brush I like to use for applying collage medium. And then another thing that I like to do when making a background, or in this case, this master sheet, is kind of go through and pick out the pieces and sort them into sizes. So kind of sort my really large pieces into sizes so I know where those are. Maybe these long ones over here. I won't be using these or little book covers. I don't think I'll be using those in the collage, so I'll just kind of separate those out for something else. And then kind of putting the tags together, the little strips together, maybe the greenery together as well. And I'll just go ahead and quickly sort a bunch of those out. The frames also I'll put to the side with the book covers. We could layer some of the frames over, so maybe I'll just keep them here. We'll decide what to do with those as we go. And I'll just sort these out real quick. So now that I have everything sorted out a bit, I'll just move them a little off camera so you can see kind of where I'm working. But what I like to do whenever I'm doing collage is just to start, especially for this type of project, to start with some of the bigger pieces. So we'll just arrange the bigger pieces. I do like to go over the pieces with collage medium as I am preparing everything. And I'll start with some of the bigger pieces, and a couple of things just to keep in mind. You're going to cover up a lot of these things with potentially with smaller pieces, but also the bigger pieces will just give you an easy way to start covering up your page. So there's not too much pressure. We're just going to cover this up as much as possible. And I'm trying to keep things like relatively on the page. Because I'll be cutting this up later probably for other things. But I'm just going to start layering some of these bigger pieces over each other, put my collage medium down on the paper with my brush, and then go ahead and I will let some of them overlap and go off the page. And I'll just go ahead and start adhering them. I'll look for things with some maybe different colors, like this little snowy scene right here. I will go ahead and kind of like put those next to each other. We have this red, which would be really nice to kind of make another layer. And the pieces that I'm using for this are just the paper pieces. These aren't the shiny pieces or the thick pieces. I'm only using the pack with just the paper pieces for this particular project. And I'll go ahead and just keep adhering them. And you can also do this with, you know, non-holiday ideology would be really nice as well. But this is just an easy way to have something on hand. So if you want to make a project, you don't have to stop and do the collage. Maybe you're the type of person that likes to collage each thing individually, and that's fine too. I just thought this might be a fun way, since I do have a lot of these papers already and packs in my stash, just to kind of use this one up and put it together before I put everything away. So that's a lot of the big ones. Let's just do maybe another one down here. We also have this one. I think I'm just going to actually cover this one up here and fill in this spot. I think that's good for a lot of the big pieces. I do have some of these strips, which I like to add in. So I'm going to just add those in a few places before we move on to kind of the next size of pieces. And those strips will be able to peek out, you know, or just fill in like the little blank areas in between. So I'm going to add some of these peppermint strips. I'll go up here maybe, oops, and we'll just add a number strip into the mix. Might cover that up later. We'll see what happens. This might be a good place for this red strip right here. So just I have a few more strips. I can save those for later. This one I kind of want to not put the whole thing, but I'll cut it in half. And then what I'll do is maybe just combine this strip in two places. So I think this spot right here looks good. This is kind of like wherever you want to put it. It's going to look good anyway when you cut the paper up. So let me put a little underneath here. And so these are all the big layers. So this kind of puts all the big pieces, and look, we've already covered up really a lot of our paper. So I am going to take this piece. It's like this little lacy piece. I'm going to cover up this bottom part here. And I'm going to put the lacy piece in just so when I cut or trim my paper, this still stays on the page. So that's there. And then I'll go into probably like this size, grab some of these tickets, but just go into some of these smaller areas so we can overlap things like this ticket here. Might save that for a little bit later. There's something like this one here. It's a little bit of a bigger piece. Go ahead and overlap that over everything. I like how just that little piece there is sticking out. And I'll keep building up. There's different little signs, different numbers that we can add in. So I'll put this number here. And let's look for some things to put over in this area. So you have this big 25, which might be nice. Go ahead and overlap that here. This is a little bubble. I'm just going to press that down. And I feel like this brush for me is really good. It doesn't seem to leave a lot of brush marks. I do have this big tree and I kind of wanted to use it. I'm just going to cover this whole entire area right here, I think, with this big tree. You know, and this would even be nice for a cover if you wanted to use this to cover up like a mini Christmas journal, or just use it for a page for like a Christmas countdown or something like that. That would be really nice as well. And go ahead and stick this Mary right here. And then just looking for pieces that are going to fit in this 25 here. Let's see about maybe just having something to stick under here. So maybe just going in with this tag, this special delivery. It can hang off a little bit. That's why we're using the glass mat. Just we can wipe everything off when we're done. But I'll go ahead and push that down. We got this Christmas piece, which would be nice to just put right next to it. And maybe overlapping the tickets down here. And I'll just keep working. Like my top is pretty full. I do like these numbers up here, so I do kind of want to keep them. See what I can find to just overlap ever so slightly. I'm going to keep that, but I'm going to see if there's something to go over here on this corner. Maybe one of these little stampies right here. So we'll go ahead and add the stamp to the corner. Hang off a little bit, and we'll trim everything when we're done, anything that's hanging off. Our page is getting pretty full. I'm going to keep going. I just want to fill in like these areas. This a lot of white space up here, but that is an area. We'll fill that in a little bit. I have a nice ticket right here, so I'll go ahead and add that. I definitely want to fill this area in. So let's take a look at this ticket right here. That might be the perfect thing for this. Go ahead and layer that one on. Just fill in some of this stuff over here. This really cute image with the birds. Go ahead and just layer that on. And then just a little more space at this point. So this peppermint drops one, we'll put that right here. Can just overlap everything. Maybe I'll look for something a little bit bigger down here first. Let's see what we have. I'm going to put this up here just while I have it in my hand. I thought it would be kind of a fun layering piece. And then let's see what we can add. Maybe even just like that, add this piece that says greetings. And then one kind of tiny strip right here at the bottom. Just overlap that as well. Just a little more collage medium underneath. And usually I have a lot of brush strokes, but I said this is a soft brush that I like to use. It makes everything pretty smooth. And we just have this little section over here. And I think cheer will be the perfect thing to finish it. So this whole piece is kind of done. I might add a couple of more little things to pop. So where it's very square here, maybe just add in some of these seals. We have a tiny stamp here. That might be nice to just kind of bring these pieces together up here. This little piece of fun, like kind of Christmas washi, and I'm just putting it this way. We don't have a lot of things here going in this direction, so I thought that would be fun, but I do want it to be kind of straight, so let's put that on there. And let's see what else we can add here, because this is very just rectangular, so we have some other pieces that might make it a little more interesting. And then of course we can add some of these flowers as well. There's a lot of flowers right here, so maybe I will just overlap that right on this piece where all these things meet. And then we have this really fun Merry Christmas. And then maybe just one more piece of greenery down at the bottom. So just layer this over. And I'll go ahead and let that dry. I'm gonna go ahead and also, and you can see we still have all these pieces left. So there's definitely, we have the book covers that we took out and these frames, but we definitely have a lot more pieces that we can use for other projects. So this, I have a couple of ideas of what I'd like to do with it, and I'll be turning those into a few different card designs, I think. I see a little piece right here that's missing some glue, so let's just make sure that everything is adhered down well. But I have a couple of ideas for some card designs, so I will be sharing those later on this week. And next week I'll have, I think I have 2 or 3 ideas. So that's kind of the finished piece. I'm going to dry it really quickly just so I can show you how I'm going to finish it. I can just see this one piece, and I'm glad I left this little bottle out. This one little piece right here that doesn't seem to want to stick. It needs like a little help. So I'll just go ahead and press that down really firmly. So now what I'm going to do is add some of this cello tape. These are cello, they look like cellophane tape stickers. We use this in the class, and I just thought it was a really nice touch to the project. So I thought it would be fun to add it here just on some of these areas for a little more contrast. And I'm using kind of the smaller pieces, and these are stickers, so they're going to stick right over what we've already put down. And this really makes it look like we've gone ahead and just like assembled all of this together. All right, so that's totally dry now. What I am going to do now is just turn it over so I have a really good idea of exactly how my piece looks. So I'm trimming just using my really big Tim Holtz scissors and just trimming all these extra edges off. So here's a look at my finished sheet. It looks fun just as it is. Like I almost want to put it in a frame and just put it up for Christmas. But I'll be showing you in a later video how I turned this sheet into some other projects with the rest of the supplies that are in the kit. So I hope you'll try this out for yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.